Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen auset-heru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it too, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you have time, please stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to read and respond to two of my favorite positive comments from other videos, and one of them could be yours. Also, if you would like to get a reading done, please email me. If you would like to hit me up on social media, my email and all my information is underneath this video, along with my Amazon wish list in case you want to send me a gift, and my Patreon page is underneath this video. I've started a new series and you're going to want to check it out, okay? All right, guys, so we're going to talk about something today that really tickles me. It tickles me so much that I actually made a word up. I have a tendency to make words and then the definitions for them. And because sometimes, especially when dealing with Aquarius, it just don't be the words for it. So have you guys ever heard of oversharing? Oversharing is when a person tells you too much. When they tell you too much, like when you're like, yo, what happened? And they're like, well, first of all, you have to understand that I was on my I was on my period, and they go into this long story with all these feelings and all these side cuts and stuff you didn't want to know and stuff like that. That's oversharing. Instead of just giving you the facts. Yeah, it was me. I did it. I'm out. You know, it's real fast. But instead of doing that, they give you this long, drawn out diatribe. That is what we call oversharing, talking about their bodily functions and their personal things you just don't want to know. Well, the Aquarius, in many cases, is the opposite of the oversharer. Even though there are Aquarius who overshare. But in general, especially to people who we don't know that well, we're the opposite. And so I coined the term, and somebody else might have thought of this before me, I'm not sure. I coined the term undersharers, okay? We undershare, we're undersharing, all right? And people get so mad at us about this. And this is why I wanted to talk about it, because you might know an Aquarius or be an Aquarius who has had this problem. One of my emails from an Aquarius, he said that people have gotten mad because he didn't want to share his thoughts, share his feelings. He didn't want to engage that deeply. It might be a work situation or a friend situation, and for whatever reason, he didn't want to engage, and they got angry with him. Then two other people mentioned this to me, and I was like, you know what? I've experienced that too. And I thought about it, and I said, yeah, from undersharing. So what does it mean for an Aquarius to undershare? Exactly what I just said. We have this tendency not to say anything, to just clam up. You know, so people are asking us for our thoughts and for our feelings, and you know, it's usually a lover or a friend or a family member, and they're just like, talk to me, tell me what, you know, like they're begging you to share, and the Aquarius is just undersharing, not saying anything, saying one word answers. One woman told me that she writes down the one word answers that her Aquarius gives her, and that's how she pieces together what's going on with him, because he's an undersharer. And she's like, I wouldn't even know what was going on with him if I didn't sit and listen and then piece together these little puzzle pieces of words that he says, one word, two words here and there, and she puts them all together. So the question from her was, why do Aquarius undershare, after I explained it to her? And I said, you know, you have to understand, Aquarius don't share with people we don't trust. That's number one. So if we don't trust a person, we're rarely going to share anything with them. We're not a fake sign. So we're not going to sit there and talk to people that we're not feeling. At least not feeling enough to share our feelings with them or share our thoughts with them, you know? Some people we just don't think are worth the time. Some people we've already tried and the response wasn't good. I mean, a number of different things happen, another number of different reasons Why an Aquarius will choose to undershare. The most common reason is because we're in a situation where we don't know anybody. So if we don't know anybody, we don't share, we just observe. And then if things are cool, we'll share later. And if they're not cool, we're not ever going to share. So if you have an Aquarius who has a lack of emotional intelligence, or if they have a lack of communication skills, or if they simply just don't trust you or the situation, then you can expect they're going to undershare. And if you're in a relationship with them, I can understand why this could be very frustrating. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even be in a relationship with a person who couldn't communicate, who was an undersharer. I wouldn't make it that far. I probably wouldn't make it past the first couple of dates, simply because of the fact that I don't want them to tell me all their business. They don't have to just spill their life to me, because I don't really want that either. Like, kind of just spoon feed me little bits of it as we go along the dating process. That's fine. But I wouldn't make it in that situation, because communication is really important to me. So as soon as I saw that they didn't want to communicate, I would leave them alone. That tells me there's a problem there. There's some type of issue there that I don't want to deal with. And I think a lot of times, many of us see that, but we move ahead anyway, especially with Aquarius, because people will tell me, well, I figured he would come around, or I figured she would share more over time. And in some cases, you're 100% right, but in some cases, you're 100% wrong. It depends on what happens. So this one woman who was in a relationship with an Aquarius for 6 years, and he's still undersharing after 6 years? I would have cut him like an afro a long time ago, because that relationship is doomed. If you can't communicate with your partner, your relationship is doomed. Period. It's either going to be doomed to end, or it's going to be doomed to come to a place where you just tolerating each other for some other reason. Okay? So that's Aquarius and undersharing, and that's why we undershare. And sometimes it will change, because we'll get to know you, we'll bond with you, and we'll start to share more. And sometimes the person just doesn't have the communication skills, and it's never going to change. So you have to figure that out from talking to them in the first 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. That's why I tell people to go slow, so you can figure things like this out. So that's my thing about the Aquarius and undersharing. Likewise, don't get mad at your Aquarius for undersharing. I wouldn't get angry about it. I would just accept it. Okay, well, you undersharing, and and I'm not really cool with this. It's been too long, so I'm gonna leave it be. Because I always give an Aquarius time to just be their self. And if it comes to a space where I'm like, this is going on too long, then I just leave it alone. I just step off. So we have a tendency to do that. And people get so angry with us. And the anger doesn't help. It's not going to make that person, it actually makes us clam up more, And a lot of it has to do with the fact that Aquarius, I'm going to tell you something about us that you probably already know. We're very different. And some of the times, because we're so different, we don't really want to talk and reveal what we're thinking and feeling, because of the potential for ridicule. Ridicule, it happens a lot with us. People telling us, ha, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about. And half of the time, the Aquarius is right. That's the thing that really gets me, is that most of the time we're right about what we're talking about. But other people may shrug it off, or tell us we're crazy, or make fun of us. So a lot of times we don't want to share. And that's when the undersharing happens. And I can see that in a lot of cases, it's really problematic at work, because you know how work is. And it really becomes problematic when you have people gossiping around, and they're mad because the Aquarius won't get in on the gossip. They don't know nothing about the Aquarius, because the Aquarius won't give them any information, but it is what it is. So if you have an undersharing Aquarius, understand that that's why they do it. And if it goes on for too long, you have a non-communicative Aquarius, and I would leave it alone. Positive comment number 1 came from YT Voon. YT Voon said it's important to develop emotional intelligence, but how emotionally intelligent is a person who cheats? The rain and thunder sounds great. Maybe you can make a sleep video of it. Yeah, it's going on now too. I meant to tell you guys that we're in the middle of the rainy season here in Costa Rica, so there's a lot of rain. A emotionally intelligent person could actually cheat. Emotional intelligence says that you understand emotionally, and on the heart you understand feeling, you understand how someone feels, you understand that. A person who cheats doesn't necessarily not understand, they just don't care. Those are two different things. So if somebody is in a relationship with you and they're emotionally intelligent enough to know that cheating on you is going to hurt you, they're still capable of doing it anyway for their own selfish purposes. So I know it's going to hurt you, and I really don't want to hurt you, but I'm not sexually satisfied. I don't have the integrity to tell you that and deal with it, like adults, so I go off and cheat. I know it's going to hurt. I have the emotional intelligence, but I'm doing this for me, for selfish reasons. So, emotional intelligence doesn't take away from other issues that a person could have. Nicole Henderson. What's up, Nicole? Another person who gets a lot of hearts from me. Nicole said, "Hey, Queen, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story. I'm so glad you didn't go through with it. As hard as it may have been for you at the time." Yeah, I was talking about a time when I wanted to stab Voldemort. If you guys didn't see that video, I think it's called something to the effect of "I almost caught a case." I think that's the name of the video. "I almost caught a case." And she's saying she's glad I didn't stab him. Yeah, me too. Me too, because if I had, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you good people, right? Not good. So it's time for us to get going. So come back soon, because I got a lot more to say. See you later.